What is a leader? What do they look like? How do they act? What do they say? Season 7, we're going to answer all those questions and more. You're not going to want to miss it. Stick with us. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. I am your host, John Espinosa. Welcome everybody to the Leading Leaders podcast. Hey everyone, John here. Welcome to the Leading Leaders podcast. Season 7 is here. Guess what that means? It also means that football season is around the corner. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get to a game. Those of you out there who know college football in the U.S. know that OU, University of Oklahoma, my alma mater, is switching conferences. And this isn't a sports show, but I am a diehard OU football fan, OU sports fan, period. And it is an exciting time. It is an exciting change. Just think about when we talk about leadership, when I talk and I ask, what does leadership look like? Joe Castiglione, our athletic director, he is the example of what leadership looks like at a very high level. He's been at OU athletic department for 20 plus years, and I had the honor of taking actually my master's program. He was in the same degree field, and I got to sit in a class with him. I'm not friends with Joe. I'm not saying that, but that was 20 something years ago, and he is still that same person. And when we talk about leadership, one of the things that I was really excited to kick off season 7, because I meet people on a day-to-day basis. They either know me or they have reached out to me via comments, questions, and a lot of times they struggle with the word leader. A lot of you out there probably struggle with identifying what a leader looks like, talks like, acts like. And I struggle because I see leaders in people that don't see it in themselves. And I wish I could pull it out and put a mirror in front of them and show them that they are everyday leaders. And that's the topic. That is the theme of season 7, Everyday Leaders. We're going to dive into what a leader of your family is. We're going to dive into what a leader in the community looks like. We're going to dive into, I have a nephew attending college, and he's leading in his fraternity and leading through his university. I meet people every single day that don't see themselves as leaders, but yet what they're doing, how they're acting, what they're saying is all about the leader that they are. So if you're out there and you have the same concerns, you might not see yourself as a leader. Others, though, however, they do. I can promise you, if you are taking the time to invest in yourself by listening to this podcast, by listening to other podcasts, by reading books or listening to books, that introspection into yourself, identifying your gaps and your blind spots, and working to close the gap and to make sure that your blind spot turns into a strength. That's leadership. What you are doing every single day. If you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're a grandmother or grandfather, an aunt, an uncle, and you've raised a family, or you're part of the family and you have those get-togethers, maybe you're the matriarch or patriarch of your family. I lost my grandmother last year. She was a leader. She was the matriarch of our family on my dad's side. I can remember when my grandfather passed away 20 years ago, and it was just her, and I got the opportunity to stay with her. She showed me leadership. She showed me what strength looked like. She showed me how to overcome such a devastating event in her life. That's leadership. I met an individual the other day who is doing great things in their community, organizing food donation banks, picking up trash along the city roads, volunteering at the youth center. That's leadership. I talked to my nephew the other day, and he got to fly to Chicago to be with the senior leaders in his fraternity, so that way he can come back to his fraternity here in Oklahoma and be the leader that they need him to be. He stepped up, organized events, recruited. That's leadership. My kids, my oldest son, he's a great father. My little granddaughter is going to be almost a year old here coming up. And he stepped up. He stepped up for his family. He's always worked hard. He takes great care of his wife, my daughter-in-law. He takes great care of my granddaughter, and he works very hard. That's leadership. My son, 16-year-old, who gets up early and does what he needs to do, plays sports, comes home, continues to do his work. If you're out there, teenagers, high schoolers, he's a leader. So the next time you ask yourself, what does leadership look like? Look for those characteristics in others. And then look to yourself. Look in that mirror. What are the things that you do? Are you consistent? Do you have other people that depend on you? Or do you just show up no matter what? Because if you do, you're a leader. So season 7, we're going to talk about everyday leadership. And a couple subtopics that we will talk about is hiding in preparation. I get questions all the time around, John, how do I start? How did you start? Whether it be a project, whether it be this podcast, whether it be jumping into an official manager role, or just getting up in front of people and sharing my experiences. How do you do that? I hid in preparation for many years, not months, not days, not weeks, years I hid in preparation. And I'm kicking myself now because if I would have started 2-3 years ago, even 12 months ago, I would be that much farther ahead. I would have helped that many more people if I just would have clicked record 12 months ago. But instead, I hid in the preparation. I had to have everything just perfect because in my mind, that was the only way that I could start. You know my philosophy now. We're going to do it messy. We're not waiting on anything. We're not waiting on the perfect lighting. We're not waiting on the perfect microphone, the perfect studio. We're just going to go get it done. So we will discuss why hiding in preparation, that's not action. We need to move to action. We need to figure out what day one looks like and get there. Number 2, we're going to talk about topics. If you are continuing to do the same thing that you have always done, I promise you, you are going to be in the same place that you always have been. What do I mean by that? If I continue to not put myself out there, to not take a chance, to be comfortable, to stay complacent, it's okay. I don't need to take that training. I don't need that opportunity to lead that project or go recruit, ask somebody to join an organization. How many of us out there get in our own heads and our job is to recruit people to come to our organization and we don't get it done because we're afraid of what they are going to think? If we continue to have that mindset and we continue to do the things that we have always done, we won't grow. And leaders, we're either growing or we're declining. There's no middle ground when it comes to pouring into yourself to make sure that our cup overfills so we can go pour into others. The third one, and this is a lesson that I took to heart, and it really bothered me for a long time. And that is, sometimes the people closest to you, they're going to be your biggest critics. They're the ones that are going to tell you, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Why would you do that? Why would you start a podcast? What do you know about podcasts? What do you know about leadership? The people very closest to you who should be cheering you on, who should be patting you on the back and giving you high fives. The ones out there who should be promoting you and talking about all the good things that you're doing. Whether it's starting that new business, starting that new multi-level marketing, getting in there and starting to recruit people to work for you, to utilize social media, one of the biggest marketing platforms to do good work, to help other people. Oh, that's a pyramid scheme. The people closest to us don't send us words of encouragement. They sit back and they criticize and they judge, and that hurt. But I got over it. I got over that fear of what others will think. And it's not just when I say others, I really meant the people who are in my inner circle. And I came to the realization that a lot of that was because I was growing, I was outgrowing what their expectation of me. And that was scary for them. It was scary enough for me to get going and to put this into action, but it was really scary for them. So we'll talk about some tips and tricks about how to get around that. And then last but not least, you all know I listen to a lot of John Maxwell, and this isn't my quote, but John Maxwell's theory is that you put your legacy into people, not in an organization. So think about that. Put your legacy into others. help others to get where they're going. That's our mission here in the Go Be Great community. We welcome you in with open arms. We're here to encourage each other. We're all about helping people. The byproduct of helping others, the byproduct of pouring in to our team, to our family, to our businesses, is that they will grow. They will flourish. I can promise you that. And in the end, when your time is done, at your funeral, at your wake service, whatever that looks like, and people get up and they talk about your legacy, do you want them to say, yeah, John built a good company? Or do you want them to say, John helped me anytime I was in trouble, anytime I was down? He would give me the shirt off his back because you poured into that person. Businesses come and go. Organizations, you'll get replaced. That's the nature that they have to. They have to do that. It's not to be mean. It's not to be malicious. But in the end, how many people have you impacted? And how did you do that? Every single organization I've left in a better place because we collectively helped each other grow. And it was just a natural byproduct. So we're going to talk about how to help others get to where they're going, and the rest is going to figure itself out. I am so excited about season 7. I mean, you can tell right as this is just a summary, but we're going to dig deep into each one of those 4 areas. And you all out there, if you are listening to me right now, I want an I am statement real quick. So if you're running, stop. If you're driving, pull over. Whatever you're doing, I want you to say, I am a leader. Say it with me. I am a leader, because you are a leader. I believe in you. Go be great. We'll talk to everyone later. Bye-bye. If you like what you're hearing, do us a favor. Click on that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. That lets us know that what we are putting out benefits you. If you want additional information or resources or learn how to work with me, head on over to thejohnespinosa.com, because when we become better versions of ourselves, it helps us get others to where they're going. Go be great. Talk to everyone later.